We're living in the age of social media. And because we're living in the age of social media, everyone or most people seems to be under this like social media is like a drug. It's like crack, cocaine, or one of those addictive substances that are not good for you. And in that respect, it means that certain issues that should not have been aired in the public space are aired in the public space. And it is cause for concern. Now, this live is not going to be structured. It's probably going to be all over the place because there has been a myriad of issues that I wanted to talk about. I was going to do a video, but I figured I'm just going to freestyle it because, when I talk off the top of my head, I am more genuine, although I may be over the place, but at least I'm more authentic in my feelings, right? So what am I talking about? I'm not going to call the names, but there is this, I don't know what the hell he is. He's an artist, a Jamaican artist, confronting a young man, I think in Florida or somewhere in the United States. And he was accusing the guy of molesting his son. And apparently this has been, I don't know, a hot topic and has been going on, I guess, for the past. I don't know when this story broke or when it happened or whatever. I just saw the thing and, I listened to the thing. I'm like, the story is very confusing. Then I saw like another video where the entertainer was explaining what happened. That never made the story any less confusing. What it did was raised more questions for me. Like I said, I'm not going to call any names because at the end of the day, these things should not be something that, you're going to put out in the public space. Let me see. Okay, so this video was posted a day ago. So I'm assuming this is very, very new. I just went back to the video where the guy was explaining this stuff. And it's like a day. So apparently, how the story goes is that this young man, at 7 years old, at 7 years old, this is me trying to make sense of what they were saying, because at one point the entertainer was saying it started at 13, and then he was saying it was from his son was 7 years old. So I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with the 7 because the person whom he accused was saying that the incident happened when the child was 7. He's now 19 years old, so that's 12 years ago this thing happened. Also, 7 plus 12, 19, yeah. So 12 years ago, the accused is saying that he caught the entertainer's son with another child. So I guess he was 11 at the time because he says he's 23. So he said he caught them in some bush, engaged in sexual activity, and proceeded to extort them for money. So he was not the one who was doing the molesting. But the entertainer is alleging that his child told him that it was the guy that was molesting him from he was 7 years old until he was 13. Right? And my initial reaction, the story was confusing based on how they were telling it because it was very disjointed and there was no kind of like, there are some dots that needed to be connected because it's like, okay, at what point did you find out that your son was molested? And what caused him now 12 years later to end? Because they're saying that he's mentally, he's gone mental and he was checked into a mental asylum. He tried to kill himself. So it's like, okay, what caused what did another incident, like what happened, why he wanted to kill himself 12 years later? It can't just be like, oh, he was molested 7 years ago and then he just get up one day and decided to kill himself as a result of what happened 12 years ago. That doesn't make any sense. There must have been something recent that triggered that past trauma that caused him to wanting to self-harm. But all of that aside, you're out here as a father who has a son who is now suicidal, and you are you're not only calling the child's name. I don't understand. You are out here putting your son's business on the entire fucking internet. No one knew this happened until you decide to go confront the young man and go live with it. Why the fuck would you do that? I don't understand. Your son is already traumatized. He is threatening to take his own life. He has checked himself into a mental asylum, and you're going to now come and put his entire business to the World Wide Web. How do you think that is going to help his situation? I don't understand. Like, these fucking people are so caught up with going viral, with being seen on the internet, that they do not even understand the implications of their actions. And then the other bloggers doing the same shit. If someone is out there say, keep the young man's name out of it, you can edit it out. When they're calling the guy's name, edit it out. Why you put it? Because this is the victim here. Why are you bringing the victim in all of this? He wasn't the one who come and tell his story, so you can say, okay, well, he's the one who is talking, and since he's talking, we're going to talk about it. It's his dumbass father, who's a fucking cloud chaser, decide to come on the internet and put out the young man's business, having regard to the fact that this young man is having mental issues, has been in a mental asylum, has attempted to commit suicide, and you are going to know none of this. Nobody knew this. No one knew this. And you're going to take this now to the internet. You're going to take this to social media to do what? To what end? To what end? Because at the end of the day, if what you're doing is not in service to the victim, then it has to be in service to yourself. And this is not about you. This is about your son who is going through some severe depression right now and needs you as a father to be there, to be that rock, to help, to guide him through all this bullshit. And instead you're adding insult to injury by telling the whole world that your son is gay. How does this make any sense? How does this help the young man? I don't understand. And given the peculiarities of Jamaican people when it comes to LGBTQ, which we all know is bullshit, but at the end of the day, for what it is, it can be emotionally draining to have to deal with Don's Butu back at the class without no subject people. Why would you bring your son's business to social media? That I do not understand, especially given the fact that he has been traumatized by the event or has experienced some recent trauma that has him now revisiting what happened in his past and has caused him to be suicidal. At the very least, you should be, yes, I don't have a problem with him confronting the accused, right? I don't have a problem with him videoing the encounter. The problem is that you now choose to take all of this into the social media space when we don't need to know that. We don't need to know anything about what is happening there, especially if it happened to you, fine, and you want to come and hear your business out in the John public. We can stop you from doing that, and obviously we're going to have our opinions about it since you post it on social media. But it is somebody else who is the victim, not you. So let the victim decide how they want the situation to be treated. And I'm sure your son did not want you to push his business out there to all and sundry to tell everybody that he was molested when he was a child. For God's sake, man, like, when are we going to, detox ourselves from this drug that is social media? Everything people put on social media. And it is very vexing. It is very aggravating. Because at the end of the day, you have these people who, they just do these things. The bloggers are sore point too. Because all these little shits care about is how much views, the clickbait. I'm just gonna run with a story, even if somebody's gonna kill themselves in the process. Don't give a fuck, because I want the YouTube ad revenue. This is what is happening in our world. We have all become monsters. We need to address the LGBTQ issue in Jamaica. No one that I've listened to has spoken candidly, honestly, and non-partisan on the matter. And so we have allowed certain kinds of untruths, misrepresentations about Jamaica and LGBT to fester. Now, there have been quite a few people who have been, very vocal and outspoken about the whole LGBTQ thing and blah, 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 right? In Jamaica, the artists especially, which they're one to talk, because half of them are gay anyway. I mean, if you really are supposed to dig into their closet, let's just be real. The music industry, we all know what the music industry is like. And don't think that it is confined to the United States of America. We hear the stories all the time. You want a bus? Somebody's got to bus you. And we have heard at least one artist spoke about that. Cargo. Cargo has said definitively on several occasions about the things that people have to do in order to maintain them fame and fortune in the industry space. And him say him never willing to do it. That's why him never get the kind of whatever him is supposed to get. Right? Why do I want to talk about LGBTQ? Well, we saw in the media about a week ago or 2 weeks ago where they were saying that the United States of America and Jamaica are in some kind of diplomatic row because Jamaica refused to grant diplomatic immunity to the same-sex spouse of a U.S. diplomat. But I am now beginning to think that that was a publicity stunt. It was not an actual thing. But it was a big thing in the media saying, oh, well, there's this gay diplomat in Jamaica and the U.S. sent a diplomatic cable to say, hey, his spouse is going to come over. We need you to extend the same diplomatic privileges. And Jamaica's like, hell no, it's not going to happen. Because that would mean that we are essentially ratifying gay marriage and that now go on, right? Then now there's this thing with son, right? So it's everywhere. And so Jamaica has been one of the most infamous countries. For some reason, even though we're not that bad, because we're not really killing people like they probably will do in Dubai or in the Middle East. We're not doing that shit here. But for some reason, Jamaica has this reputation for being anti-LGBT. And I think this is the United States of America's doing to put pressure on the Jamaican government for whatever reason I don't know. But this reputation that Jamaica has about anti-LGBTQ sentiment is bullshit. And this is propaganda, I'm pretty sure, by the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America. This doesn't have anything to do with the reality of the situation. I'm not saying that Jamaicans don't express strong anti-LGBTQ sentiments, but that's all it is. We just talk about a crap. But in terms of action, in terms of physical violence, I am pretty sure that if you scrutinize the other countries, especially in the Middle East, you'll find that they're far more violent than we are. So, let us lay this thing to rest once and for all. The first thing I want to say is that people ought to be very careful about how they conduct themselves with respect to other groups of people that they do not agree with. And I'm going to point to some examples. You look at Bounty Killer, and now he has a son who is allegedly gay. You see, life has a way of humbling us. You're out here saying people, somebody should die simply because of who they are. Because you are not affected. The decision that you are making or that you're trying to force on somebody else, you are not impacted by it at all. So you don't care. So you can come and you can say whatever. Oh, this person is supposed to die because their lifestyle is something that you disagree with. But then you find out your flesh and blood practicing the same lifestyle. No, you change your mode. This is life teaching you a lesson. You have to put yourself in people's shoes. Understand their point of view. Especially if you're going to call death and destruction down on people. You want to make sure that you are on the right side. That your outrage is justified. That your cause is just. And that you have a legitimate reason for taking the stance that you're taking. And if this is not a hill that you're willing to die on, you cannot be out here saying someone should die if that's not a hill you are willing to die on. And if push comes to shove and the tables are turned and you are in that position, you're going to say, I will gladly go to my death because this is a hill that I am willing to die on. But you see, we're all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. And that is why I don't really listen to anybody when they're talking and when they have these strong views. Because that's all they are, just strong views. But they have no foundation. They're like the seed that is planted on stony ground. They will spring up, yes. But at the sign of any kind of trouble, they wither away and they die. And that is how Jamaicans are as far as LGBT is concerned. They're upset and you're supposed to die until it's their family member. They're all supposed to die until it's their own son, or their own daughter, or their own mother, or their own father, or their own friend. So it's selective outrage. Now, what are my personal opinion on the matter? What I try to do when I'm proffering an opinion, I always try to make my opinion as non-partisan. So it's not really an opinion, it's kind of like an assessment. You know, it's kind of like you're weighing the evidence. It's like a judge in a courtroom, and, you know, I hear this defendant's side, I hear the plaintiff's side, and then I'm making now a ruling. That's how my opinions are generally framed. Now, I know there are, well, the most recurring argument that people use, which is kind of funny because half the people using this argument not going to church, you know, not following in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. But this is the argument that they always use. You know, the Bible says, everybody a Christian when it comes to, at least in Jamaica, you know, a man just come from round the corner, kill somebody, right? And you're having a conversation about LGBTQ and him run to the Bible. Now remember, so the Bible said, thou shalt not kill, you know. Now remember, so the Bible said, thou shalt not kill. But when it comes to LGBTQ, we are all experts in biblical scripture. So the Bible says this is wrong, and Sodom and Gomorrah, and they can quote all of the scripture, them I don't know them because they're not important to me. But one thing that everyone will agree, because the Bible does not protect you from the police, does it? It's the Constitution. It's the Constitution that enshrines the rights of the citizens of a jurisdiction, not a religious text. And the Constitution, therefore, dictates that each citizen has freedom of religion. So if we have freedom of religion, you cannot therefore use your Bible or your religion or your status as a Christian or whatever the hell you are to know, say to somebody, you are supposed to die because I do not agree with your lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, I don't subscribe to your religion. So I don't give a shit what your religion want to say about my lifestyle. It's neither here nor there. Because if my religion is saying that thou shalt have no other God before me and you worship, you are in another religion. Essentially, it's in conflict with my religion. But I cannot now therefore come and force you to conform to my religion because it's in conflict with yours. So you cannot now use a Christian argument to speak out against LGBT because people have freedom of religion, and therefore that would be a moot point. I don't give a shit what your religion said because I don't subscribe to it. That? Cool. Obviously, there's freedom of expression as well, so we don't really too care what you think, because you're free to think what you want to think. I'm free to think what I want to think, and I write this, so stop back and put on. No, sir? So, your opinion doesn't really matter either, unless I ask you for it. Some people might say, well, goes against nature. So that's another famous argument, and at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, this is the problem with people in society. We're all, well, I don't want to say we're all, but most people are stupid, really. They just go with what they hear. So they have a position that was given to them. Somebody told me how to feel about this matter. So they don't really think about the issue for themselves. They don't try to work it out in their own head. They don't try to pull knowledge from the ether to help them to assess that thing and try to figure out what is the truth. So, if we, okay, fine, you say it's unnatural, it goes against nature when you look at the animals, which is kind of weird, People use the animals, you never see two lion doing it. I don't know how we would know that for truth, because it's not like we out there, they watch them anyway, but let's just say that's true. We never see two males of an animal species copulating, right? We don't see that. And while we don't really have no concrete evidence that is true or false, we just go and hold that to be true, right? But nobody is looking at the fact that, but wait, animals don't mate for fun. They mate for procreation. And they have mating season. So if we're going to go with the nature argument, so let's do that. If we're going to go with nature argument, then we must too follow nature. Human beings are the only people who just fuck. For the sake of fucking. We have no mating season. And if there's one thing that we know about nature, nature is all about balance. So, is it unreasonable to hypothesize that same-sex attraction among human beings is one of the control mechanisms that nature has put in place to keep the fucking human population at a reasonable level? Because we just walk fuck down the whole place just for fun. We are not having sex because, okay, we are procreating. That's not why we do it. We just do it. And we know that one man can get as many children as he wants. There's nothing stopping a man from getting 1,000 kids. Nothing. I mean, besides his own stamina. So how does nature, and when you have 4.8 billion men on the planet, how does nature control these men? There has to be some control mechanisms that are put in place. We know animals have mating seasons, we don't. We know they have sex for procreation, we do not. So is it unreasonable then that same-sex attraction is a part of the control mechanism that nature has put in place? I'm not saying that this is true, but it is food for thought. And it should be a part of the discussion when we're talking about whether this is unnatural, because we just fucking on the word place is not natural either. If we're going to talk about the animal kingdom, because that's what we're basing what nature intends of in it. We're looking at the animals and saying, well, we don't see two male animals doing it, so it's not natural. Well, they're not fucking all the time either. So we doing it is not natural. So why don't we just follow what the animals are doing and have a mating season and only do it when we intend to bring a child into the world? Let's do that. And if we're not going to do that, then we just need to shut the fuck up on that part. Okay. Let us now move into the sovereignty of the individual. Now, this is not what I believe. This is a fact. And the fact of the matter is, every human being is born free and is free to do whatever he or she wishes, insofar as those actions do not result in the harm or detriment to others, or deprive others of their freedom to do whatever they want. It's just that simple. There's no need to make it complicated. You're free to do whatever the hell you want, as long as it's not going to cause harm or detriment to other people or prevent them from doing what they want. Nothing more needs to be said where that is concerned. So what does that mean? It doesn't matter if someone is gay or not. That's not your fucking business. Is it causing harm to you or other people? No. Is it stopping people from doing what they want? No. So shut the fuck up about it. And let people be. It's just that simple. Then it would bring us to the issue of gay rights. There should be no such thing. There should be no laws conferring any special right or whatever to gay people. Just as there shouldn't be any laws preventing them from doing what they want either. And you see, that is where the problem comes in. You can't come and try to essentially tell people what to do. If it's not harming anybody, you shouldn't care. As long as what I am doing is not causing harm, I should be allowed to do what I want to do, because I am a free, sovereign human being given the right to conduct my affairs how I see fit, just by virtue of being born. That's all. It's not a right that is conferred upon me by the Constitution or by the country or by whatever. Just by the fact that I am born into this world means that I have a freedom to do what I want to do with my life. The only limitation on that is that freedom does not give me the right to cause harm to other people. So I'm free to do whatever I want to do, as long as it's not going to result in some harm or detriment to other people or prevent them from being free to do what they want. As long as it's not causing harm or preventing people from doing what they want to do, I should be allowed to do what I want to do. So if two guys wanna shack up, that's their goddamn business. Like, what's it to you? So we need to come off this, moral bullshit. And Jamaicans, we should be the last people on this fucking planet to be talking about what's moral or what is right. For a country of 2.9 million people, we have been at the top of the list where murders are concerned for decades. For the last 40 years, we have been averaging 1,300 murders per fucking year. We have been averaging 1,300 murders per year. So we are in no position to be claiming any kind of moral superiority. I have seen since the beginning of this whole pandemic numerous children, and I'm not talking 16-year-old, I'm talking 10-year-old, 6-year-old, 9-year-old, murdered, and there's no outrage. No fucking outrage. But you want to get upset about two guys fucking? That's where your outrage is? Make that shit make sense, because it's not adding up to me. I don't get it. This is the only issue we seem to be able to unite around. The Prime Minister, because you're going to get fucked. Jamaica has a big fucking coming its way. The JLP government sold us out. And we don't know who is going to screw us. The Chinese have infiltrated Jamaica. There are Chinese operatives in Jamaica. China has enough people in this country to launch a full-scale fucking invasion without anybody from China setting foot in this island. Andrew Holness did that. Darren Vaz has sold us out to the Americans. I don't know what kind of deal he has made. Remember, they took away his visa. And then he got it back under some special provision. And then they say Starlink is coming to Jamaica. That's Elon Musk satellite bullshit. Which is supposed to spy on Jamaica. Perhaps this has to do with perhaps the Chinese invasion. Russia is also in Jamaica. And we have Russian spies as social media vloggers. We have operatives from the United States of America. Something is coming. So, for those of us, but you see, I am now convinced that Jamaicans, remember what happened to the children of Israel? Do you remember that story? The children of Israel and Pharaoh. Unless we each begin to personally feel the effects of what Andrew is doing, we're going to continue to remain silent. We're going to continue to be oblivious. We're going to continue to not care. Because all of a sudden, Jamaicans have become one of the dumbest set of fucking people on the planet. Social media turned the whole of an idiot. Everybody has lost the fucking mind. And the country is going to shit. We have a fucking dictator who not only we have a government that has given itself 200% increase. Nobody did anything about it. Them pushing off the people off the beaches and trying to sell it to private interests. Them have people mining bauxite in Jamaica, and Jamaica is not seeing one fucking dollar from it. And all manner of evil is happening. 52 scammers on trial, and not one of them end up in a jail. A whole set of gang people, and I must say one or two of them end up going to jail. And them now extended the DPP, who has shown that she is incapable of securing any kind of convictions for serious crimes. How many of the 1,400 murders that we have been averaging for the past 5 years has the DPP get a conviction for. What is the closure rate of murders in Jamaica? Are these murders being solved? No. Do Jamaicans care? No. This is the country that we live in. We are an evil set of people. Jamaicans. We are a very evil set of people. Children are being sacrificed. Daniel Rowe was sacrificed. For what, I don't know. We saw what happened with Kevin Smith's church. Jamaica has been taken over by evil. And we see the artists them now practicing voodoo or witchcraft, or I don't know what it, I'm not familiar with them, but some black magic bullshit. And we have the pretend religious people putting on them pseudo coat of piety, and they are just as evil. But they feel justified because they're evil, they're doing it in the name of God. Yet we want to claim moral outrage when it comes to LGBT. An LGBTQ community is another piece of shit. Somebody needs to call them out on their bullshit. Because at the end of the day, what we're seeing happening across the world with this comprehensive sexual education and drag queen story time and this there are no genders or whatever the fuck is going on. This is some evil demonic bullshit. And we don't see the people from the community saying, no, wait a minute, this is not what we stand for. So if you're not speaking out against it, it simply means that you're for it. And then if you're for it, they will only burn in hell. And I'm not going to make any apology for that. Because what you're doing is fucking evil. Because if you're coming for children and you're fucking them up in the head by confusing them about what gender is, and then you have these little sick pedophiles coming in with them bullshit, being naked in front of children, having on provocative clothes and performing in front of children, and you think that is okay. And then these parents who allow their children to be subject need to be brought to the gallows. The whole fucking lot of young. The drag people who are doing it, the school people who are participating in it, the parents who are allowing it to happen, the bystanders who sit there and say fucking nothing, you all need to be brought to the gallows. If we live in a world where children aren't protected, then we have truly become an evil set of people that needs to be wiped off the face of this planet. I've been trying to watch Sound of Freedom, but for some reason the damn thing is not playing. But I don't need to watch it to know that it is true. I don't need to watch it to know that it is true. We saw what happened with the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell case. The media, these are the fuckers, Anderson Cooper, what a Don Lemon, the whole fucking lot of them deserve to be brought to the gallows. Because they're all a part of this pedophilia shit. The harming children. Where does that leave us? We're fucking sitting here. Where's the outrage? Why are we not demanding that the media tell us what's going on? We follow them for the bullshit. Oh, Rihanna. These people are fucking distraction. Rihanna, Beyonce, the whole of them, they're all demons. But these are the people that they bring to distract us. Because all we want to do is to be entertained 24/7. But they're gonna kill our asses. Make no fucking mistake, they're gonna kill us. But I'm not gonna die, but you know. They're gonna kill you all. They have been planning this for 100 fucking years. And the truth is, you deserve to die. Why? I don't care that people are evil. I don't care what adults do to each other. You want to kill each other, knock yourself out. But when it comes to children, that is where I draw the line. That's the line in the sand for me. That's as far as my tolerance goes. And children, 4 fucking million children per year, missing, gone without a trace. Is the same sick fuckers that live next door to you, that's going to church, that you think are good neighbors, are hiding them. Evil does not always wear an ugly face. It's a billion dollar industry. The trafficking of children on this fucking planet, and nobody seems to care. But make no mistake, you're gonna pay. I'm not talking about the child traffickers. We who sit by and do nothing, because we are worse than the people who do it. We live in a world of pretend. Everyone pretending. But your day of reckoning is coming. Your day of reckoning is coming. This is not where I intended to take the conversation, but for somehow I'm here. Your day of reckoning is coming. And you know, I'm gonna stop warning people, because people deserve to die. You want to be blissfully ignorant. You want to be entertained. Go to Astroworld, follow A$AP Rocky, go to your Rihanna concert, go to the demonic Sam Smith concert, watch the Super Bowl, watch football, knock your fucking self out, because they're coming for you. You're on the clock, 2030 motherfuckers. I'm hate that I have to be here with people who are just so evil. And everywhere you go, all people care about is just foolishness. It's depressing as fuck. It's very depressing. It is very depressing to be living in 2023. It is very depressing. Human beings are lost. And nothing but a great tragedy is going to wake people up. I don't think there's no amount of preaching that we go preach that is going to make a difference. As it was in the days of Noah. Socially indeed. And whatever is coming, people deserve it. I think, man, I don't know. This damn phone is giving me some problems, so I'm gonna leave it right here. But we need to change and fast, because reckoning is upon us. reckoning is open. If we live in a world where nobody cares about anything, it's like the AI apocalypse is already here. We don't need robots. We are already robots our fucking selves. You even see a TikTok trend where people are pretending to be robots. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, oh my fucking God. What the fuck is wrong with humanity? Like on a serious level, like what's wrong with humanity? Jesus. Yo, I'm out.